There's a moment in life when you look around, hoping for a hand to pull you up, hoping for someone to say, "I see you. I've got you." But all you're met with is silence. The world, so loud with its noise and chaos, suddenly feels eerily quiet when you need it most. And in that stillness, you realize something terrifying. No one is coming. The safety net you thought was there. It's been ripped away. The hands you thought would catch you. They're clenched tightly to their own survival. But let me tell you something, that moment, it's the place of strength. Because when no one helps you stand, you teach yourself to walk. Step by agonizing step. It's in that crucible of pain and loneliness that you become something more. Something unstoppable. I didn't ask to be left alone. I didn't ask for the weight of the world to sit on my shoulders while everyone else looked the other way. But it happened, and it taught me something I'll never forget. The only person who can truly save you is you. It wasn't easy. It wasn't pretty. There were days when the weight felt too much, nights when the darkness felt endless. But I didn't quit. I couldn't quit. Because every time I thought about giving up, I remembered the world wasn't waiting for me to succeed. No one was holding their breath, hoping I'd rise. And that made me angry. Angry enough to get up when I didn't think I could. They say adversity builds character. But they don't tell you about the pain, the isolation, the moments when you question why you even bother. They don't tell you about the nights you scream into your pillow, the mornings when your body aches from carrying the weight of it all. But here's the truth. That pain, that suffering, it's your greatest teacher. I learned to walk because no one else would teach me. I stumbled, I fell, I scraped my knees, bled, cried, cursed the heavens. But every fall taught me something new. Every stumble made me stronger. And here's the thing about teaching yourself to walk. Once you learn, no one can take it away from you. You're no longer at the mercy of others. You don't need their approval, their validation, their help. You become untouchable. The world thrives on watching people struggle. It's a cruel truth. They'll cheer for you when you're at the top, but they'll laugh when you're clawing your way up from the bottom. They'll tell you to keep going, but they won't lift a finger to help. That's the reality of it. People love success, but they hate the struggle. But you're different. You're not just surviving the struggle, you're owning it. You're wearing your scars like armor, your pain like a badge of honor. Every step you take is a testament to your resilience, your refusal to stay down. There's a power that comes from walking alone. It's a quiet, fierce power. It's the kind of power that doesn't need to be loud or flashy because it's unshakable. When you faced the darkness and taught yourself to walk through it, there's nothing left to fear. So, to the ones who turned their backs on me, thank you. To the ones who doubted me, ignored me, left me for dead, thank you. You didn't break me, you didn't destroy me, you forged me. Every time I rise, I carry the lessons of those lonely nights. Every step I take is proof that I'm not just surviving, I'm thriving. I'm no longer walking because I have to. I'm walking because I choose to. And here's the most beautiful part. The journey isn't over. Every step forward is a step away from the pain, the betrayal, the doubts. Every step is a step toward a life where I don't need anyone's help to stand tall. If you're out there, feeling like no one cares, like no one will help you up, listen to me. You don't need them. You've got everything you need inside of you. It's going to hurt. It's going to be lonely. But you'll make it. Because the moment you realize that no one is coming to save you, you start to save yourself. You become your own hero, your own savior. And that's a power no one can take away from you. So walk. Walk when it hurts. Walk when it's dark. Walk when every fiber of your being tells you to give up. Because every step forward is a victory. Every step forward is proof that you don't need anyone to help you stand. You've got this. You've always had this. When you're teaching yourself to walk, you begin to notice things. Not the grand moments people like to talk about, but the small details, the cracks in the pavement, the weight of your steps, the rhythm of your breathing. These little things remind you that life is real, raw, and unforgiving. But they also remind you that you're still moving. The first steps are the hardest, not because you're weak, but because you've been knocked down so many times that standing feels unnatural. You second-guess yourself. You wonder if it's even worth it. And then there's that voice in your head, the one that whispers every doubt, every fear, every failure. It's relentless. But here's the thing. That voice is lying. It's not your voice. It's the echo of everyone who underestimated you, doubted you, betrayed you. It's the weight of their judgment trying to hold you down. And the moment you recognize that, you take control. You silence that voice not with words, but with action. One step, then another, slowly, painfully, deliberately. The world doesn't notice at first. No one claps. No one says, "Look at them go." And that's fine. This isn't about them. This is about you. There's a fire that starts to burn when you stop looking for help and start relying on yourself. It's not a roaring blaze at first. It's a flicker, fragile and uncertain. But every step you take feeds it. Every small victory, every obstacle overcome. It all fuels the flame. And soon, that fire consumes the doubt, the fear, the pain. It becomes your driving force. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start saying, "Try me." Because the truth is, the world didn't break you. It woke you up. It forced you to see that the only way out is through. People will look at you differently once you start walking on your own. They'll wonder how you did it. Some will be inspired, others will be envious, but none of them will truly understand what it cost you. They didn't see the nights you cried yourself to sleep, the mornings you didn't want to get out of bed. They didn't feel the weight of your loneliness, the sting of your failures. They only see the results. But you know. You remember every battle, every scar, every moment of doubt. And that's your strength. That's what makes you unstoppable. Because the truth is, when you teach yourself to walk, you're not just learning to move forward. You're learning to own your life. You're learning that you don't need permission to succeed. You don't need validation to matter. It's a lonely road, but it's yours. Every step you take is yours. And that's what they'll never understand. They'll see your strength, but not the struggle. They'll see your success, but not the sacrifices. They'll see you standing tall, but not the moments you spent on your knees, wondering if you'd ever rise again. But you don't need them to understand. You don't need them to see, because you're not walking for them. You're walking for the person you used to be, the one who was lost, scared and broken, the one who thought they couldn't go on. Every step you take is a promise to that person, a promise that you'll never give up on yourself again. And as you keep walking, something incredible happens. The pain doesn't go away, but it changes. It becomes fuel, not a weight. The loneliness doesn't disappear, but it becomes a space where you grow. You stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as a warrior, a survivor, someone who doesn't just endure but thrives. The world didn't give you a hand to hold, but it gave you something better, the strength to stand on your own. So walk. Walk with purpose. Walk with defiance. Walk like every step is a victory, because it is. And one day, when you look back at the road you've traveled, you'll realize something incredible. You didn't just learn to walk. You learned to fly, not because someone carried you, but because you carried yourself. That's the power of teaching yourself to walk. It's not about proving them wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you were always capable, always enough. And now nothing can stop you. The fire inside you isn't just burning, it's raging. It's lighting up the path ahead, carving a way where there was none before. So keep going, keep walking, and never forget, the only hand you ever needed was your own. Listen. The truth about teaching yourself to walk is that it forces you to face the world as it is, not as you wished it to be. It's harsh, it's unforgiving, it doesn't care about your feelings or your dreams. But in that raw, brutal honesty, there's freedom. Because once you accept the world for what it is, you stop waiting for it to change. You stop waiting for people to suddenly care or for circumstances to magically align in your favor. And that's when you truly begin. Think about the times you reached out for help, only to be met with excuses or silence. You felt invisible, didn't you? Like your pain didn't matter. Like you didn't matter. It's a feeling that cuts deeper than any physical wound. But that moment of being ignored, that's where the story changes. Because in that silence you find the loudest truth. You are all you have. At first, it feels like a punishment. Why me? Why do I have to fight alone? Why doesn't anyone care? Those questions haunt you, don't they? They play on repeat, pulling you deeper into despair. But one day something shifts. Maybe it's a single moment, a realization, a memory, or a sudden burst of anger. Maybe you're tired of feeling helpless. Maybe you're just tired of feeling anything at all. And that's when you take your first step. It's shaky, uncertain. You don't know if you'll fall again, but you take it anyway. And that step, it changes everything. Because with every step forward, you prove to yourself that you can. That you're stronger than you thought. That you don't need anyone to validate your worth or guide your path. Do you remember the first time you stood up for yourself? The first time you said, enough? It was terrifying, wasn't it? Your heart raced, your hands shook. But you did it. And that moment, that was you teaching yourself to walk. There are stories behind every scar you carry, stories of betrayal, heartbreak, and failure. But those scars are proof that you survived. They're proof that the world couldn't break you, no matter how hard it tried. Remember that time you were at your lowest, and it felt like no one noticed? Like you were screaming in a room full of people, and no one even turned their head? That moment taught you something important. The world isn't going to save you, but it also taught you something even more powerful. You don't need saving. When you teach yourself to walk, you learn to carry your own weight. You stop looking for shoulders to lean on and start building the strength to stand tall. The people who left you behind, they didn't see your worth. And that's their loss, because they missed the transformation. They missed the moment you went from being dependent on others to being unstoppable on your own. There's something terrifyingly beautiful about walking alone. At first it feels like abandonment, like punishment. But over time, you realize it's a gift. Because walking alone forces you to confront your fears, your doubts, your weaknesses. And in doing so, you discover your strength. Think about all the times you wanted to give up. Those nights when the weight of everything felt unbearable. When the thought of another day seemed impossible. But you didn't quit. You didn't give up. And that's power. You've faced storms that would have drowned others. You've walked through darkness that would have consumed them. And yet here you are, still standing, still walking, still fighting. You don't just survive the hard times. You rise from them, stronger, wiser, unshakable. The world will try to tell you that you need others to succeed, that you can't do it alone. But they're wrong. You've already proven that. Every step you've taken, every obstacle you've overcome, has been on your own terms. You've built yourself from the ground up. And that foundation, it's unbreakable. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your journey. You don't owe them an apology for your strength. You've earned every scar, every victory, every step forward. So let them watch. Let them wonder how you did it. Let them envy the strength they didn't help you build. Because this journey, it's yours, and no one can take it away from you.